Hello and welcome to the Cordelia dress sew along. This pattern is available in my Etsy. My Etsy shop is just my name, Caden Naughton. This pattern has been tested in all 24 sizes, and the instructions include many hack ideas, including instructions on how to create those hacks for yourself. This video is going to show you how I sew this dress as normal, including multiple finishing options for the yoke seam. My Instagram page will walk you through a few additional hacks as well. You can find me there at caden.naughton, and let's get started before I ramble too long. So here we have the front dress and the back dress still on the fold, but you get the idea. And then I have all four of my pockets, 1, 2, 3, and 4 cut mirrored, but it's hard to tell with this fabric. It's the same on both sides. And then I have my sleeve 1 and 2 on the fold. Here's what it looks like opened up. And then I have my yoke front piece and my yoke back piece. And all this plaid is looking a little trippy all laid on top of each other. But anyway, first thing we're going to do is stay stitch the neckline, stay stitch the edge of the yoke and the arm size. That's going to make sure nothing stretches out as you're going through sewing the rest of the dress. After that's done, place your yoke front and yoke back right sides together. And you're going to sew that shoulder seam and then finish it. I just finished with a serger and press that seam to the back, and it'll look like this. And now we're going to go right into binding the neckline. So I have my single fold bias tape, and I'm going to unfold it, fold back that first 3/4 inch or so, just so you have a finished edge there. And then I'm going to line up that raw edge all the way around the neckline and sew in that first fold closest to your raw edge. And this is what it will look like from the right side. You do that with right sides together. And then I'm going to flip my yoke to the wrong side and press that seam allowance up. And then I'm going to sew right next to the stitching line I already have. And that's basically going to sew my seam allowance onto my bias tape. And that prevents the neckline from like rolling out, because you don't need to see my bias tape that's on the inside of my garment. So it's going to look like this. You'll have 2 stitching lines there, and then you'll have one line of stitching that you can see on the bias tape. All right, now I'm going to throw her back down, wrong sides up, and I am folding that bias tape all the way to the wrong side now so that you cannot see any of this bias tape from the right side. And I am going to sew all the way around the neckline just next to that folded edge of the bias tape. And this is what it'll look like from the right side. You cannot see my red bias tape. This is after steaming and pressing, which is also very important after doing bias tape literally anywhere to get it to lay flat and behave how you like. So you can see 2 rows of stitching around the bias tape. One is from understitching that prevents it from rolling, and then one is to tack it all down close to that folded edge, and voila, we have a bound neckline on our yoke. Okay, let's set that yoke aside, grab our front and back dress, find that notch and your 4 pockets. We're going to put our pockets right sides together with the front of the dress, matching the top edge of that pocket with the notch. So just down that straight edge of the pocket, and finish just that straight edge of the pocket, and it'll look like this after you've serged it or finished it in whatever way you like, and press the seam allowance to the pocket, and it'll look like this from the right side. And you're going to repeat that for all 4 pockets, front, back, left, right. Then we can grab our front and back dresses, put them right sides together, matching up that side seam, matching up all the way around the pocket, and then all the way down to the hem. You are going to sew down to the pocket, pivot, and around the pocket, and then pivot down all the way to the hem of the dress. Finish that seam and press it all towards the front, because I don't know about you, but I put my hands in my pocket to the front of me, not to the back of me. And this is what it'll look like when it's all sewn, serged, and pressed. And of course, repeat that for the other side. Then we can set our dress aside for a hot sec while we work on the sleeve. Make sure you have your sleeve folded right sides together. I know you can't really tell with this plaid that I'm working with, but sleeves right sides together, sew down that underarm, finish it, and then ta-da, do it to the other side. And then when you press your seam, just have them pressed mirrored. That way you have one left and one right. The seam will be pressed to the back. Now you can grab that dress back out again. Find your underarm little arm side loop there. I'm going to have my dress wrong side out, so I swap my sleeve to right side out, tuck it inside the dress, and I'll match up that seam. So the sleeve seam will be pointing to the back and the dress seam will be pointing to the front. Match up that seam and all the way up to the front and the back point. And this is right sides together. I want to really emphasize that. I know it's hard to tell with this plaid. Now, if you're doing the sleeveless version, you are going to bind that arm side just like you did the neckline. So right here, I have single fold bias tape placed right sides together with that top edge of my arm side, sewing it right sides together in the first fold of my bias tape. And I'm going to again do the same thing I did to the neckline and press up to understitch my seam allowance onto my bias tape. That is again going to prevent my bias tape from peeking out to the right side, which I don't want. And then I am going to fold that bias tape all the way to the wrong side so that you cannot see it from the right side. And I'm going to sew just next to that folded edge to make sure it is all in place and not going to peek out, and nicely bound with our bias tape. And voila, it will look like this once you're done. Repeat that for the other side. Now we're going to get ready to gather. So for the sleeved version, I'm going to do 2 rows of basting stitches all the way around. That is with a long thread tail and a long stitch length that you can pull the bobbin thread to gather. If you are doing sleeveless, you're just doing the front and the back. You don't have a sleeve to go over. Now we're going to match our notches to either the sleeve dress seam or the top of your dress point. That single notch is going to be on the front yoke, and so that's where you will match your front dress to. Same deal on the back, but the back yoke has 2 notches instead of just 1. I also like to mark my center front of my dress and the center back of my dress, and same with the yokes, so I can match up my gathers nice and neat and I don't have one side with more gathers than the other. So then I'm going to pull the bobbin thread to gather up the dress and measure out each section of my dress as I gather using those notches, so I know when I've got it just right. I have my ruffle basted to my yoke already. That's just an add-on in the instructions, not part of the OG pattern. To clarify here, I have my dress wrong sides out and my yoke right side out. Now I'm going to start by matching the center back of my dress and the center back of my yoke. Clip that in place. Then I'm going to find my notch and I'm going to find my seam, or if I'm doing the sleeveless version, just the top of my back dress. Clip that in place, and then I'm going to clip as I kind of go and evenly distribute those gathers within each section. And I'm going to do this all the way around the dress, matching the notches to the seams or the top of the dress, and just distributing my gathers evenly all the way around the top of the dress for all the notches everywhere. This is it all clipped up all the way around the yoke to the dress. I'm going to sew it together with the gather side up, and I'm going to make sure that ruffle is pointed up to the yoke, and this is what it will look like. For this sleeve version, I serged that edge and pressed it up to the yoke. You can do that for the sleeveless version, but I would recommend top stitching it down. And actually what I would really recommend is using bias tape instead. So I'll show you that now in my sleeveless version, just for reference. That red gingham side is the yoke and this more white and red side is the dress. I have that yoke tucked into the dress, and I'm using my single fold bias tape with the beginning folded back, and I'm lining up that raw edge with the raw edge of my yoke and dress seam. Again, I have that yoke tucked under. This is just sewing again over that same seam I just did in the previous step. Right here you can see I'm going over the sleeveless part of the dress, and I have that ruffle that I'm attaching to this one as well, pushed towards the yoke. And I'm just going to sew the bias tape on all the way around that yoke dress seam until I get to the beginning. And then I understitch just like I did for the neckline and the arm side, although it is not really crucial at all for this part of the dress. It's just good practice, I suppose. So I am sewing the seam allowance to the bias tape, and then again I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the other areas on this dress where we use single fold bias tape, and I'm going to fold that bias tape all the way up, but this time it will be onto the yoke. I am going to pop my dress all the way out, wrong sides out, and I'm going to kind of go in through the neckline while I push that bias tape up onto the yoke. And so now I am sewing that folded edge of the bias tape onto the yoke. The ruffle and the dress are not being sewn at this point. It is just the edge, that folded edge of my bias tape onto the yoke, and the yoke only. You can see here I am at the sleeveless part of this dress, and I am sewing that bias tape to the yoke, and the ruffle is facing away or down or along with the dress. I'm not sewing that ruffle with the bias tape. Do this all the way around the yoke, and then you have this nice and neat bound seam, and it is going to look like this from the right side. I definitely recommend this method for the sleeveless version, or if you just like a neater finish. But if you are doing a like lacy or transparent yoke version, I recommend this method more, and that is with double fold bias tape. And just like all the other starts of my bias tape, I'm going to fold that beginning part back and then line up my double fold bias tape in the same way I did for the single fold bias tape. Sew it all the way around that yoke dress seam within that first fold line of your double fold bias tape. This is another sleeveless with a ruffle, and so what that looked like in the beginning was what I had sandwiched was from the top, the bias tape facing right sides down. The dress was wrong sides up. I had the ruffle sandwiched in between, and then the yoke would then be right sides up, and that's all sandwiched in between. Make sure after you sew that first round, you trim your seam allowance, because it can get bulky with so many layers if you're doing a ruffle in there also, and then you're using double fold bias tape, etc. But now you're just going to fold down that top edge of your bias tape and then fold it once more so your entire seam is enclosed like this. You will not see any raw edge. You are going to completely bind that raw edge, and I kind of think of it like the bias tape is just giving a complete hug around that seam. You shouldn't see any raw edge. It should just be clean bias tape hugging your raw edge. Now, just like before, I'm going to push that bias bound seam up onto the yoke and sew close to that last folded edge and just sew it onto the yoke section. So our seam is going to be completely sealed in bias tape, and I am just sewing it into place up onto my yoke just next to that folded edge. And obviously bias tape is preferred because of that beautiful neat finish, but why I prefer double fold bias tape for a transparent or lacy yoke like this is because from the right side, if you were to use single fold bias tape and to look very, very closely, you could see the raw edges of your seam if your lace weave is large like this. But if you use double fold bias tape, you just see a finished edge of your bias tape. Whereas at the neckline here, if you look very, very closely, you can see some of my raw edges because the lace is so open right there. Anyway, enough of these sleeveless finishing methods. We are just going to go on to the sleeved version now, and that would be pressing that seam allowance up twice. So 3/8 inch up and then 3/8 inch up again. So you have a finished edge. Then you're going to sew close to your folded edge all the way around the sleeve, leaving a little gap so you can insert your elastic. I just attach a safety pin to my elastic, find my little gap, slide it through, and shimmy it all the way around until it comes out the other side of my gap. And then I am going to lay my elastic flat together, make sure it is not twisted anywhere, and then sew those elastic ends together and then close up my gap for the elastic. And then shimmy that elastic around so those gathers are distributed more evenly and it should look a little bit something like this now. And all we really have left is the hem. You are just gonna fold the bottom up 1 inch, press it all the way around, and then fold up by 1 inch once more to enclose that raw edge. Now so close to your folded hem edge, and you are done with your Cordelia dress. And again, included in the instructions are many ways to alter this pattern to get the most out of it possible. You can find this pattern on my Etsy page by searching Kaden Naughton on Etsy. And lastly, please don't ever hesitate to reach out if you have questions. I'm always happy to help.